Hi everyone, I'm Anthony and welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into the Mandatory Provident Fund again and how I manage my $1 million MPF portfolio. So let's get straight in. First, you'll see my MPF performance tracker for the past 3 years, and I'll show you how I update it for January 2026. I'll also walk you through the fund allocations that shape this month's results and share with you the implications. And in the last section, I'll show you the indicators that shape my positions and future rebalancing actions. Before we get into the details of the Excel tracker, here's a quick recap. Between 2023 and 2025, my Manulife MPF portfolio achieved a strong total return of 60.9%, beating both the MPFR All Fund Performance Index and the Hang Seng Index Tracking Fund. And what made this outperformance possible is all about discipline. I track my MPF returns every single month and compare them with the MPFR index. Today, I'll show you exactly how I calculate the January 2026 return and update the Excel tracker. Every month, I screenshot my end-of-month balance from my Manulife MPF personal account. At the end of January, my balance crossed 1.1 million Hong Kong dollars. After entering the January number, the time-weighted return comes out to 4.82%. The Excel formula is straightforward. Divide the current month-end balance by the sum of the previous month's balance and any new contributions, then subtract 1. In January, as I had no pension contributions to the account, so the time-weighted monthly return is a clean 4.82%. Alright, now let's move on to the benchmark return. From the MPF Ratings' website, we can find the MPFR index, which is up by 3.42%. That's lower than my 4.82% return, which indicates an outperformance of 1.4 percentage point for my MPF portfolio. Isn't it very simple and very clear? Now let's look at my latest fund holdings and weightings. Since I didn't rebalance in January, all changes in weightings came purely from market movements. For example, the China Value Fund's weighting rose from 41.5% to 43.1%. That means the fund outperformed the rest. The North American Equity Fund's weighting, however, fell from 19.7% to 18.8%. That signals underperformance. Meanwhile, weightings of the Japan and European equity funds are similar to the previous month, thus showing returns in line with my overall MPF portfolio. Now let's move on and talk about the indicators I use for fund allocations. Usually I base my allocations on valuations and market trends. For example, the US equity market, as represented by the S&P 500 index, has been overvalued and expensive, and its PE ratio is more than 1 standard deviation above its 5-year average. That's why back in August 2025, I dialed down the exposure to the North American Equity Fund to 20%, and its current weight of 18.8%, which reflects the recent underperformance, shows that the reduction was a good move. China equities, on the other hand, look fairly valued. Its PE ratio is just around 10.9 times, roughly in line with its historical average. Its trend is also touching the 200-day moving average, which suggests further upside potential. All this supports my decision in last August to increase its weighting to 40%, which has now grown past 43% thanks to the recent market rally. Now, here comes the big question. Do I need to rebalance now? Should I increase the China Value Fund further to 45% and reduce the North American Equity Fund to 15%? Things are still hanging. Anyway, if I decide to rebalance, I'll show you the full step-by-step process in the next video. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching and have a great day.